Attention! This video is made for educational purposes only. The experiments shown here may be performed only under professional guidance. I do not take any responsibility for the damage done to the persons and property caused by the recreation of these experiments.
The safety gear includes chemistry lab apron, chemical gloves, and safety goggles.
Chemicals taken for the experiments are as calcium chloride for calcium salts, zinc sulfate for zinc salts, lead nitrate for lead salts, aluminum chloride for aluminum salts, magnesium sulfate for magnesium salts, ferrous sulfate for ferrous salts, ferric chloride for ferric salts, copper sulfates for copper salts, and the reagents used are sodium hydroxide of caustic soda solution and ammonium hydroxide or liquor ammonia solution. The apparatus taken for the experiments are test tubes, test tube stands, and reagent bottles.
The effect of sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide on calcium chloride solution. First, we add sodium hydroxide solution in small amount. It turns into white color precipitate of calcium hydroxide. We keep on adding in large amount. There is no change. When you add ammonium hydroxide to the calcium chloride solution or calcium ions, it does not show any effect.
The chemical equations for the reactions are with sodium hydroxide in less amount CaCl2 plus 2NaOH gives 2NaCl plus CaOH whole twice, and in excess amount there is no change observed. With ammonium hydroxide there is no precipitate formation.
Then we are going to see the effect of sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide on zinc sulfate solution. First, we add a sodium hydroxide solution to zinc sulfate solution. It forms a thick white gelatinous precipitate of zinc hydroxide. See, we add an excess amount of sodium hydroxide into it. The precipitate gets dissolved. See, the precipitate got dissolved. When we add ammonium hydroxide into it in a small amount, it forms again a gelatinous white color precipitate. We add excess of ammonium hydroxide into it. The precipitate got dissolved.
The chemical equations for the reactions are with sodium hydroxide in less amount ZnSO4 plus 2NaOH gives Na2SO4 plus ZnOH whole twice, which is a gelatinous white precipitate. In excess amount ZnOH whole twice plus 2NaOH gives Na2ZnO2 plus 2H2O. With ammonium hydroxide in less amount ZnSO4 plus 2NH4OH gives NH4 whole twice SO4 plus ZnOH whole twice, which is again gelatinous white precipitate, and in excess amount NH4 whole twice SO4 plus ZnOH whole twice plus 2NH4OH gives ZnNH3 whole 4 SO4 plus 4H2O.
We are going to see the effect of sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide on lead nitrate solution. First, we add sodium hydroxide in a small amount to the lead ions. It forms a white color precipitate of lead hydroxide. We add in excess. The precipitate is getting dissolved into it. See, the precipitate got dissolved into it. When we add ammonium hydroxide solution, lead salts, it forms a white color precipitate. And if we add ammonium hydroxide in excess, there is no change. The white color precipitate remains as it is.
The chemical equations for the reactions are as with sodium hydroxide in less amount PbNO3 whole twice plus 2NaOH gives 2NaNO3 plus PbOH whole twice. In excess amount PbOH whole twice plus 2NaOH gives Na2PbO2 plus 2H2O. With ammonium hydroxide in less amount PbNO3 whole twice plus 2NH4OH gives 2NH4NO3 plus PbOH whole twice, and in excess amount there is no change.
Now we are going to see the effect of sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide on aluminium salts. When we add sodium hydroxide into it, it forms a crystalline white precipitate. See, it is forming a crystalline white precipitate of aluminum hydroxide. We add in excess, it dissolves because aluminum is amphoteric in nature. When we add ammonium hydroxide into the aluminum salts, there is no such precipitate being formed.
The chemical equations for the reactions are as: with sodium hydroxide in less amount, AlCl3 plus 3NOH gives 3NaCl plus AlOH whole thrice. In excess amount, AlOH whole thrice plus NaOH gives NaAlO2 plus 2H2O. With ammonium hydroxide, aluminium salts does not give any precipitate.
See the effect of sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide on magnesium salts. When we add little bit of sodium hydroxide to the magnesium salts, it forms a white color precipitate of magnesium hydroxide. When we add too much excess of sodium hydroxide into it, there is no change. With ammonium hydroxide, it forms magnesium hydroxide, and there is no change when we add ammonium hydroxide in excess.
The chemical equations for the reactions are as: with sodium hydroxide in less amount, MgSO4 plus 2NaOH gives Na2SO4 plus MgOH whole twice. In excess amount, there is no change observed. With ammonium hydroxide in less amount, MgSO4 plus 2NH4OH gives NH4 whole twice SO4 plus MgOH whole twice. In excess amount, again there is no change observed.
See the effect of sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide on ferrous salts, ferrous sulfate solution. When you add sodium hydroxide into it, it forms a dirty green precipitate of ferrous hydroxide. When we add ammonium hydroxide into the ferrous salts, it also forms dirty green color precipitate of ferrous hydroxide.
The chemical equations for the reactions are as: with sodium hydroxide in less amount, FeSO4 plus 2NaOH gives Na2SO4 plus FeOH whole twice. In excess amount, there is no change observed. With ammonium hydroxide in less amount, FeSO4 plus 2NH4OH gives NH4 whole twice SO4 plus FeOH whole twice. In excess amount, again there is no change observed.
We are going to see the effect of sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide on ferric salts. I have taken ferric chloride. When we add sodium hydroxide into it, it forms a dirty brown color precipitate of ferric hydroxide. We add sodium hydroxide in excess, there is no change. When you add ammonium hydroxide in small amount, it also forms brown color precipitate of ferric hydroxide. We add ammonium hydroxide in excess, there is no change.
The chemical equations for the reactions are as: with sodium hydroxide in less amount, FeCl3 plus 3NaOH gives 3NaCl plus FeOH whole thrice. In excess amount, there is no change observed. With ammonium hydroxide in less amount, FeCl3 plus 3NH4OH gives 3NH4Cl plus FeOH whole thrice, and in excess amount there is no change observed.
We'll see how sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide react with copper ions or copper salts. I've taken copper sulfate solution in the test tubes. First we add sodium hydroxide solution in small amount. It is forming a sky blue color precipitate. And we add in excess, there is no change. The precipitate remains as such. A small amount of ammonium hydroxide turns into blue color precipitate, but we add in excess, it turns into a azure blue colored solution. See the effect of sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide on copper salts.
The chemical equations for the reactions are as: with sodium hydroxide in less amount, CuSO4 plus 2NaOH gives Na2SO4 plus CuOH whole twice. In excess amount, there is no change observed. With ammonium hydroxide in less amount, CuSO4 plus 2NH4OH gives NH4 whole twice SO4 plus CuOH whole twice. In excess amount, NH4 whole twice SO4 plus CuOH whole twice plus 2NH4OH gives CuNH3 4 SO4 plus 4H2O. Hope you have enjoyed this demonstration.